Hey everyone, I'm Jay and today we'll be watching a Jubilee video. Strangers rank their intelligence, IQ versus first impression. Now I think this video is going to be very interesting because according to me it is nearly impossible to determine someone's intelligence solely based upon first impression. Because you may be smart but if you have a cocky attitude people will think that you are dumb. And likewise, if you are dumb but you behave properly, you have good manners, people will think that you are very smart. But I think that's the whole point of this video, so let's watch the video together, shall we? Okay, so everyone is COVID tested, so that's nice.
I wasn't planning to go to college. That wasn't like a goal of mine. My parents were like, well, you should apply to at least one college. And I was like, I'll never get in here. And then I went to Yale.
Okay, so they are taking IQ test, so they can determine who is high and who is low according to the IQ test.
Should we just like go down and do intros? Yeah, I'm Shade. I'm 24. I work in finance. I have a bachelor's degree. I went to Yale.
I'm Tyler. I'm 21. I'm a high school graduate, and I work in the Marine Corps.
Okay, so he's in military.
I'm 25. I'm a software developer. I went to Ohio University, and I.
Okay, so I have friends who are like studying software engineering and things like that, and they always joke about that. If they have to like code something, they just Google it and copy and paste the code. And I have studied computer engineering for like 6 months, and for some reason this is very funny to me. I don't know why, but seeing that there's a software developer in here, for some reason it's funny for me. I don't know why.
Bachelor's degree.
Maria, I'm 30 years old. I have my PhD in cancer biology and I work in a biotech industry. Grad school, I went to University of South Carolina, and undergrad, I went to University of Florida.
Hi everybody, my name is Sean. I'm 27. I'm the director.
Okay, so I'm not judging anyone, but I think that these people will judge Sean based upon his appearance and the way he talks and put him like in the low tier, like in the very bottom. I am not judging him. I am saying that these people will judge him low.
Social media for a company, and I also work for a digital ad agency. I got a double major in dance and cultural anthropology. Undergrad, I went to Loyola Marymount University.
Hi everybody, I'm Ray. I'm 24.
Same with this guy. I think that people will like put him in high tier, like first, second place, just because he is Asian. Because there's the stereotype that Asian people are very good at math. I am Asian, I am not good at math. But I think that these people will judge him like based upon the stereotypes and put him in the high tier. But that's just what I think. Let's see what happens.
Graduated with a bachelor's degree in Harvard recently, and I work in consulting.
Oh, y'all are babies.
Did I do it?
I know, that's what I was saying, it's Asian factor.
Yeah, it gives you like years of experience.
Yeah,
in
I
life.
guess we need to, maybe it's good to identify what intelligence means to everybody.
I think intelligence is better defined as your adaptability and your problem-solving skills more than it is your education. Obviously,
I agree with him because, like, for example, I'm studying literature and my brother studies like he's doing bachelor's in pure science. So based upon that, my brother would have like very good knowledge in science stuff and things like that, while I would have good knowledge about literature and books. So in the real world, it doesn't matter. Like what matters is the street smarts and common sense. So like if you have so much of bookish knowledge and you know nothing about the world, you have no street smarts. According to me, that would be worthless. To survive in the world optimally, you must have both, right? You should have book smarts as well as street smarts. But that's just my opinion, and I'm sorry if you guys don't agree. That's just my opinion.
education, the stuff you've been through, puts a lot into play in it because it gives you more resources, more thoughts to draw from. The formal education definitely helps, but I don't think it's in any way essential.
So what is
I disagree here. Formal education is essential, and I'm sorry again if you guys disagree, but this is just my opinion. Formal education is essential.
say the most essential thing was probably common sense.
Yeah, so for
Yeah,
me
common sense
personally,
is
I think
essential.
intelligence is both EQ, IQ, and that common sense.
Yeah,
street
exactly.
smart intelligence, all of that combined.
People consciously or unconsciously, when they see someone, form an opinion immediately. Like I'm sure we all did right away.
When
Yeah.
I saw you, I told myself, Maria, do not judge him just by his looks. He could be throwing you off, or that's just
That's-
who he is.
That's exactly what Jubilee does in like each of their videos. They just put someone there, like such a person, so that you would think that okay, he's going low, okay, he's going high, okay, he's the imposter, but that's obviously not the truth. They are just someone that Jubilee put there so they can throw you off. And according to me, this guy, there is rainbow guy, I don't know his name, he would be like somewhere in the middle, like 3, 4, 5, something like that. I don't think he would be very high or very low. I think he would be in the middle. But that's just what I think.
But he can talk the talk and walk the walk. Sean, I didn't want to judge him based on the way he looks or dresses or acts. So I
But
was
you
like, I
are.
think he's
But you are
intelligent.
touching him.
First impressions, I would put him at the bottom only because when I was in school, all the other people with like the bright
Hey.
neon colors and stuff, they were
He is also touching him. Just as I said. I said in the very beginning that people will judge the what was his name? Sean and the Asian kid because of the stereotypes and the way they look. And I was right.
typically the ones doing worse in classes. If we were ranking confidence, I'd definitely put Sean at very first place.
So what is the definition that we're going with is the biggest question.
I like your definition.
I know, I was going to say, I like my definition.
Yeah.
It combines everything.
Does anyone have
I think that I'm sorry, but the girl in the red pants is so full of herself. She is very smug, and according to me, she should be in the low tiers, like 5 or 6, something like that. According to me, she is very low in the IQ scale. I'm sorry, but that's just what I think.
initial
You can be honest.
Start on that side.
I'm done going first.
I feel like I have a good combination of both, like book smart and street smart. So yeah, I think I have some input on that. There's so many aspects to intelligence. It really goes beyond IQ and EQ. Even those two different factors really don't really capture what it really means to be intelligent.
I know I'm not.
Wait,
from
I'm sorry, but is no one going to point out to the Asian kid that there is a cable hanging from his butt? I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but let me show. Okay, so if you can see here, there is a cable, a wire hanging from his butt. I don't know why is no one pointing it out. I don't know if he knows it or not, but it's just distracting me. I hope someone tells him, but let's continue with the video.
PhD, but what I lack in those areas, I'm able to still problem solve using my own skill set, my emotional intelligence as well as my social intelligence.
Besides my education and background, I feel like I have high emotional intelligence, like I'm aware of my surroundings.
As a software developer, my problem-solving skills are obviously top-notch, I think I would say. My
Yeah.
whole life, I've
As a software engineer, like you must have very good problem solving skills. Like every time you code, there would be a mistake somewhere in the code that due to it your code wouldn't work, and every time you have to go back and think that what you did wrong and solve the problem. I know because I have faced this problem like a couple of times when I was studying computer engineering, of course. So I agree with her. If you are a computer engineer, you are a software developer, you must have high problem solving skills.
kind of had to fight to be seen as intelligent. I think I'm so used to having to do that as a woman to just step up and be like, yep, I deserve to be here. My first job out of college, I was working at a law firm. Gentleman came up to me and said, hi, you don't look like somebody that would work at a law firm. You look like somebody I'd go on spring break with. And
Wait,
I'm like,
what?
I'm like,
Is it just me or is it rude? I think it is very rude to say to someone. I don't know if it's normal in their culture, but according to me, man, I would never say something like that to anyone. It is very rude.
Out of everyone here, I've got at least formal education. I consider myself intelligent. My mental dedication and my ability to adapt and to problem solve. What I do in the Marine Corps, I'm a cyber defense specialist. So I think that by virtue of what I do, that already requires some amount of intelligence.
Sorry, quick question. So do you think that only certain people can do your job, or do you think anyone can
Can I answer this question?
Yeah.
So, if I had to answer this question, according to me, like going into the military, getting into a job for becoming a cop is very difficult, because in my town, my village, like so many people are preparing for the exam for becoming a cop, and I have seen how hard they work. They pull all nighters before exam for studying, and I know how many times they fail for getting into the job. They fail the examination. My cousin are preparing for the same job, for the same exam, and I know how many times they have failed. And according to me, it is a very difficult job to get into, and you must be very strong physically and mentally to get into the job. You must be very smart, because the army and the police are not going to take you in just like that, right? You must be very smart. You must be exceptional. I'm sorry, I just have a very bold impression of military and army, and things like that.
ASVAB before you go into the military. That's not really how much you know, but how well you can learn information. And I got a 94 on that. It's not an amount of how much you study, how much you know. You're not going to really get better at learning. Does that make sense?
I disagree. You can get better at learning. But again, that's my opinion. If you guys think differently,
I strongly disagree with.
see,
You don't get better
she
at
also disagree.
The idea that you can get better
I'm not
at
the only
learning
one.
is a pretty big signifier of intelligence. I'm very much dyslexic. I have ADHD, and I'm on the autism spectrum. Dyslexia means that there's a big gap in comprehension. So I was scoring 99th percentile in certain areas and like 3rd percentile in others. I'll never be able to learn another language. I took Spanish for 12 years, and I can still basically only order a burrito.
So I have a question. Why did you go to Yale, and why did you go to Harvard?
My parents are immigrants from China, and I'm a first generation immigrant as well, and college student as well. My family always really stresses the importance of formal education. For me, that was something that I really strived for.
I wasn't planning to go to college. That wasn't like a goal of mine. My parents were like, well, you should apply to at least one college. And I was like, I'll never get in here. And then I went to Yale.
Why don't you guys rank each other from 1 to 6, including yourself, and give reasons why you want to do what you're doing?
I gotta go
Can I
one.
can I rank this, guys? Okay, so according to me, I'm sorry, I'm going with the prejudice. So the Asian guy, according to me, would be the first, just like she said. So the Asian guy would be the first. The army guy would be the second. The black girl would be the third. The girl in the white top would be the fourth. The rainbow guy, Sean, he would be fifth, and the girl with the black coat would be the last. Well, let's see what the real scores are and how these guys score them.
So,
Oh yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
I would.
I like how she put the, what was his name, Tyler, last, just because the quarrel they had, like the stuff about learning and things, and she got offended. I think it is just because of that she put him at the last. I think also because Tyler was a little bit cocky. And as I said in the beginning, you may be smart, but if you're cocky, people will think that you're dumb.
Rank you as a 6, not meaning that you're not intelligent. I also think that I don't place a lot of value on the military.
Period.
No, full stop.
I'd probably do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm sorry.
I'm the villain this episode.
Yeah, everyone is putting him last just because of the
I'd say
one
I'm
thing he
one,
said
if
about
nothing
learning.
else, because I know what I'm about and I'm sure of that.
Wait, you
See
guys
what
have
I
to
said,
rank
he is
everyone
very
too.
cocky.
That is so unfair. No.
I would say 1, 2, 3.
See, he put him
4,
first.
5,
He is
6.
very cocky.
Okay. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh.
I'm sorry. It's hard for me to look past the education part, going to college, I think you learn a lot, if nothing else emotionally. But I still think you're smart.
Thank you.
Sorry.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Everyone is putting
Immigrant
the
parents, first generation going to college.
Tyler at last.
Humble, modest. 2, me, I don't know. PhD, cancer biology scientist. I work in a biotech.
She is so full of herself. She is very smug. She's like, I'm this, I'm that, I'm very smart. I don't like her. I don't like her at all. I want her to be last.
Company, we make COVID-19 testing kits.
Oh.
Stuff like
Why is
that.
she dancing?
And then 6. It has nothing to do with your background. I don't think you really have the highest EQ out of all of us.
What is
Tyler, he
EQ?
ranked last
I don't know
for
what EQ
personally
is.
Because the way he carries himself, he was ranking intelligence.
I know IQ.
based on
IQ is
his
intelligent
point of
quotient.
view
What
and
is
not
EQ?
taking in other people's point of views and compiling results. But really just came down to his body language, his demeanor, the way he carried himself, the way he acted towards the group.
See, as I said in the beginning, like, you might be smart, but if you act cocky, if you are so full of yourself, people will think that you are dumb. People will not like you. And based on that, they would rank you low.
But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out 6. You score out of everybody, but the way you present yourself, as well as being a PhD student, I think is just like a huge thing. And I put myself 6 because I feel like I might be the weakest in terms of actual IQ score. Hopefully, I can make it up for everything else. So I did put myself as least intelligent. However, if it can't be me, I definitely think Tyler, fortunately, his way of thinking is linear, and I think it's
Yeah, I agree. Tyler's way of thinking is very, very linear. I think just like me, he also has like a very strong, a very bold opinion on military and cops and police and like that. And just because he got into the Marine Corps, he's very full of himself.
It's almost like a sphere. It's a picture, and right now he's only coloring with one color, then with the rainbow.
So who got the most number 1s? Okay. Down?
Who got the most?
Charlotte was
like
pretty up
you.
there too.
I feel like you were definitely 3, right?
Yeah, I'm between
You were
Harvard and
4.
Yale.
Okay, so this is how they arrange themselves. They think they will score. Very different from what according to me it was Asian guy, army guy, black girl, the girl in white top, the rainbow guy, and then the girl in the black coat.
I sort of expected to be ranked a little bit lower. At first glance and first interaction with me, it's hard to tell how intelligent I am. It's hard to tell how intelligent anybody is.
Is anyone upset with where they're standing?
I think it makes sense that I'm down here. Like the guy who graduated from high school and then joined the military, he probably wouldn't be like high up on there. If I was in their shoes, I definitely would have also ranked myself among the lowest.
I do feel like there might be a prejudice.
Okay,
at
so
being in her-
that was the reason he was put last, because he never went to the college. Okay, it makes a little more sense to me now why everyone like scored him low.
terms of ranking you
Okay, I was thinking that
highly,
too.
but I agree with the ranking. I think you probably are the most intelligent out of all of us. I would
Okay, in
feel
3
weird
seconds we all
placing
know
you there
the
and
real
not
answer.
acknowledging
How
the
it-
dynamics
what everyone
in which
score?
we did so.
Okay, so they are now taking the IQ test. Let's see.
So number 1 is Raymond. Number 2 would be Kaylee. Number 3
Okay,
would
so
be
the
Tyler.
software
Number
girl
4 would
got
be
second.
Shada. Number 5 is Sean.
Okay.
Number 6 is Maria.
Okay, so it is very close to what I thought. So if you just switch places, I mean, no. So according to me, it was Asian guy, the army guy, the black girl, the girl in the white top, the rainbow guy, and the whatever she was. So I was wrong in the middle area, like 2, 3, 4. I was wrong there. But otherwise, these 3 are exactly where I supposed them to be.
I think an IQ test tests something. I don't think it's intelligence. It's definitely testing something. IQ tests are now known to be flawed and like based on incorrect sample sizes. I have really severe dyslexia. There's 2 questions on that test that I
I'm sorry, but I just think that she is just very angry because she thought that the army guy would be last and she ranked lower than him. So I think she's just angry about that, but I don't know. I think if he was lower than her, she would not have a problem. But that's just what I think.
basically can't answer.
I'm sure if you studied for an IQ test, you would do a lot better.
Yeah,
IQ
that's
tests
right.
Are just
If you have like taken several IQ tests before, like if you have taken several IQ tests before, you will have an advantage in this, and you will definitely score higher than others. So in that way, this way is flawed.
one aspect or one way to measure intelligence. It's really on a spectrum. What constitutes somebody as
Yes, I agree with him.
Before this, all I knew about IQ tests is that they existed, and the I stands for intelligence. I've never looked into IQ tests before. Coming here today, them saying the EQ, that was the first time I've ever heard that term in my life.
I don't know what EQ is either. So if anyone could tell me in the comments, that would be nice. Because I knew IQ was intelligent quotient, so EQ is something quotient, but I don't know what E is.
Coming back to intelligence, it's not just your IQ, it's your EQ, it's your common sense, it's street smarts. Sure, it is
Yeah.
some type of metric similar to an SAT and ACT score is a metric for getting into college, but there's more to that person than that test.
I'm actually excited I wasn't last because I thought I was going to be last, not going to lie. I think an IQ test is a good indicator to see how people handle pressure, but I think that's easier to make sense in our heads that, oh, you're smart and you're not smart.
Definitely don't think it's the best metric. I've been exposed to tests like these probably more than most people here. That already gives me an unfair advantage.
This is
Yeah,
not
that
going
makes
on,
sense.
I'm climbing up the ladder.
Okay, so as I thought, people were judging each other by prejudice and the way they look, the way they behave. So that's what we learned today, that you cannot judge anyone's intelligence just upon how they look and how they behave. You cannot judge anyone's intelligence based upon the first impression. So I think it was a very nice video, and thanks for watching. See you again later. Bye.